Welcome, 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 everybody. Look who I have here for you, Miethke. Welcome, Michael. And
Hello.
welcome everybody watching. We are the Interpreters Practice Group, the community of positivity, non-competition, and mutual support. I'm Sarah Thiemann, and I empower fellow interpreters to love engaging with colleagues, to feel happy and content every day. And as you might know, we started the incredible series of interviews a while ago. Michael is my third interview partner. So great to have you here today.
Very nice. I like it.
And the theme of our interview series is Life as an Interpreter. The purpose is to create more awareness of our beautiful profession and also spread the love so that, we get more and more youngsters into this great profession. And we have this community of non-competition, mutual support, and positivity, because our motto is there is success for everybody. And this interview is also about learning from each other, because everybody, every freelancer has their unique and own story. And today I want to hear Michael's story. So every month I interview one incredible member of our community to learn about their life, how they became an interpreter, how they are experiencing it today, over the years. Maybe they are new, maybe have a lot of experience. Everything is welcome. So, Michael, maybe
Yes.
you want to start to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about yourself first, who you are as a person, and then we come also to your
Yes.
interpreting
Okay.
life.
Yes. I'm Michael Miethke. I live in the Netherlands, in Maastricht, the city where the euro was invented and introduced, and so on. Also, the city of André Rieu, the famous violinist and conductor. Um, and I was born in Germany. I'm now 65 years old, so I was born in 1956. My mother is Dutch. She's from Rotterdam. My father is German. He's from Berlin. And my parents met each other during the war, and after the war, they settled near near the German Dutch border. And that's a very good start for me because I learned two languages from the beginning, and I later told my parents, they aren't alive anymore, but I told them, thank you very much because you gave me the opportunity for a very, very interesting, nice, wonderful profession. So that's.
Oh,
And I'm working. You see it above. You see what I do. My company name is MM Translations, but it's not now more MM interpreting. So I'm a online interpreter, German Dutch, and on-site interpreter in the booth, German Dutch, Deutsch Niederländisch. But I also do translations, and I was also lecturer at the interpreter school and translator school in Maastricht for a few years.
wow, so much
Yes,
history.
65 years,
Wow,
65
yeah.
years. You
And
can
it's so
fill it
great. I
with a
didn't
lot
know
of
that.
stuff.
I wasn't aware. I forgot or whatever that Maastricht was like. That's where the euro was invented.
Yes,
That's
it's
such a
true.
great
Therefore, I
fun fact.
remind you,
Thank you
some
for
people
that.
hate it,
Yes.
others like it.
Yeah. And everybody watching, by the way, today I want to pay attention. If you have any comments or questions on in the Facebook group right now under the video, just to comment. I will sometimes look on my phone to see whether there are comments or questions, and we try to answer them live here now.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Michael, for that great introduction. So, okay, so you work as an interpreter.
Yes.
Do you have a specific type of interpreting that you focus on? Yeah, tell
Yeah,
us about
what
that.
I do mostly is, oh, let me change at the moment the camera because then I have a
Mhm.
better picture. One moment, please. Um, so I have the other camera, and then I prepared. Also, I have to put the background away.
Yeah,
So this is much better. So we don't have disturbances in the picture. Um,
right.
this is the background I normally have. I'm on air, if you see that on
Yes.
the background. So I prepared the answers so I can give you more nuanced information because English is not my working language, so I miss a lot. So I prepared it, and therefore I will read some answers, but mostly uh, is coming from my mouth and from my brain at the moment. So
Yeah,
I'm an
great.
conference interpreter for simultaneous. I also work as a court interpreter, but not so often. And I did it in different courts in the Netherlands. But I only concentrate on civil law and not on no, what's the
Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, yes.
criminal court stuff, because then you really have to be prepared very good because people go into jail. So I have a big
Mm,
responsibility.
yeah.
Um, what I still am waiting for is a online interpreting. I do a lot of stuff with webinars, like a lot of other colleagues worldwide. Um, I have my studio here. I will show you the studio afterwards, so that you get an expression how
Ooh,
you
can't
can
wait. Yeah.
can settle as a online interpreter.
We
And
like
what do I
to
have?
look behind the scenes.
Yes, to look behind the scenes.
Yes,
Yes, that's
yeah,
very
yeah,
good. That's what we interpreters do all the time.
yeah.
We have the privilege to look behind the curtain and be discreet and do our work. Um, what I also did in the past is I worked a little bit as a medical interpreter, telephone interpreter, and with one-on-one negotiations in companies and so on.
All
But
right. Mhm.
nowadays it's mostly conference interpreting or European work councils, big companies, small companies, politicians, and so on.
Yeah, so a
So that's
great
my work.
variety of
Yep.
assignments. I'm sure you're never bored.
No, never bored. No.
And yeah, tell us. I mean, as we're here today to learn more about what life as an interpreter is like, would you be so kind to maybe share with us, like, what a typical day looks like? Is there something like a typical
Yes,
day at
yes, yes,
all?
yes.
And yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, there is no typical day, I must say. Interpreting is always tailor-made assignments, at least for me. Um, but even if it's not a standard work or typical work, I have to follow a certain procedure, and it's quite a lot I learned in all those years. What I do, I get a phone call or an email, so I have to answer the phone call or the email, and the first thing I try to do is check with the client. Um, do they have the necessary budget for it? A lot of clients don't know what the work costs and what you need for it.
But would you
Um,
do that rather like right in the morning, like a day
no, no,
before
no.
the
It's when
assignment,
it comes.
or?
So
Mhm.
I'm a person who likes to go to bed at about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then gets up at 9 or 10, depending. Um, so it's not a typical things. And then you get requests. It can be during the day, it can be in the morning. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I try to get my clients to send me an email when it's possible. But okay, they also phone. So, but the first thing
Mhm.
is to check. Um, do the client know what's about with interpreting? Then the next thing I send them my standard order of quotation, my order, but I adapt this order to the needs of the client. So it's already tailor-made with all the information I have at the moment. Then the next, what I do in this order is quite large. I try to educate my client that they have all the information necessary to see what are my rates, why are my rates quite high for a lot of people. What can the client expect? What are the conditions, my working conditions? What are my needs? So that we have a good communication going. Then we chat by telephone or by email. I get more and more information. I know the client knows now what he has to expect from my service, interpreting service, and then I refine my order form. And then when everything is okay, the client said, okay, we want to work with you. Then I have to find and book suitable colleagues when I'm not working alone. Um, and what I always do is I ask them, uh, do you have time? are you interested in this assignment?
So you
What
do
are
that kind of in the same day? You wait for the
it
client to
depends.
answer to get
I
your
have
confirmation
first to
first?
get the information of the client,
Mm.
depending how quickly they need me and my colleagues. But I have also assignments where I work alone. But when you have assignments, multilingual assignments, then you ask your colleagues. And I try always to be very polite to my colleagues because we have to work years in, years out together. And I always ask, what is your rate? And it's me who has uh, um, to try to get the rate for my colleagues at the client and not being the one who said, oh, you are very, very expensive. You have to, no, it's too high. No, the client, it's my job when I'm the entrepreneur at the moment, and also I do it for myself, to get the best price. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I have to go back to the colleague and say, okay, that's the maximum I can get from the client, and okay, that's
Yeah, good point you mentioned here.
absolutely.
Entrepreneur. So
Yeah, we have to
freelancers,
be a little
guys, you
bit
are
entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs as
We
well.
are
And
entrepreneurs,
we have
yes.
some
Oh yeah,
watchers,
okay.
some
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, audience, yes.
Sonia
People in
and
the audience.
Gidre, hello. Yeah.
Hello.
And Sonia is applauding your English, so
Oh,
don't
thank
worry
you.
at all.
Oh.
So
Yeah, we have always another impression of our skills than we really do. I don't know. Okay, thank you very much, Sonia. What do I next? Find the colleague. Yeah, when I need colleagues, when it's necessary. Or what I always try to do when I have to ask colleagues, I also ask or try to find substitutes because every one of us can become ill, can get an accident, or other things help. Something in the family, maybe your mother dies. It's awful, but everything can happen, and then you have still to find a substitute for your colleague or for yourself. So the client is always helped. That's an important thing to do. Um, the next thing is I try to get as much as information about the content. What's the conference, the meeting about? Um, and then I have to, let me see what I wrote down. Yeah. Um, do the preparation work for the assignment. When everything is, I get all the information together, then I send the order I send them. It's also a contract, send it to the client signs it, and then we know everyone, okay, we will go and work together. But what I always put in my contract is the condition for cancellation. It can happen. The client can cancel the assignment. I can't find a job for the same day, and when I have colleagues, I'm responsible for my colleagues too. So there is a cancellation clause always, uh,
yeah,
and I have also to tell the
important.
client, okay, when I can't I can't work for you, I will search for other persons. So that's very important to put this in your contract. Then the thing, what happen afterwards, when everything is ready, I prepare my voyage when I have to go to the client in the Netherlands or abroad. One day, a few days, then I have to prepare the list. What luggage do I need? What devices? Which medicines? Contact lenses? And maybe everyone knows this wonderful stand-up comedy, Absolutely Fabulous. And there's one scene where they go to France to visit a French castle for a wine tasting session, and then she has to come back, and the only thing she says is money, tickets, passport. So we have to be prepared. But when you are on the way and you miss very important information or stuff, or you don't have your meds in, then you are lost. You can't go back. You have to be there at a certain time. Um,
Totally, yeah.
the next thing I do is extract the terminology of the information I get when I get information, the documents and so forth. The list of the participant is important, the function is important, then the date of the meeting, the hour. What I also ask is, do you have minutes? Can I see what you had in the last meeting? And what we always can do is look at the website of a company nowadays. So you get a lot of information, but you have to extract the information and to put them together in glossaries, in documents. And what's very, very helpful, I will repeat this.
Yeah, I know what's coming now.
You know what comes
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I work with the remarkable. I'm not paid by the company, by the way. It's really useful as I can write down everything. It's like a notebook, but it doesn't need a lot of energy. You can work with this 2 weeks without interruption. You can note everything down, and everything can be sent to your computer as PDF, and you get an infinite number of pages in this book. It's only 400 gram, and you can write everything down, get PDF and all the information in this small device.
If you
And
want to get more information about it, watch Michael's
yes,
presentation from a few weeks ago. It's in the
that's true.
Interpreters Practice group on Facebook.
That's true.
Scroll down a bit, it's somewhere.
It's not. It's not so. There are some things I would do better now when I would do it again, but doesn't mind. You get the
It's
information
learning by
of
doing.
an
Yeah.
insider who's working with stuff. You can have a block note, but or a
Yeah.
notepad,
No, it
but
was great. It was really
it's
great,
no,
and
it's really useful.
made
Yes,
it
and
really.
what I
Yeah.
always say is my motto as entrepreneurial interpreter is you ask the client, I interpret, and I organize. That's the main
Yeah.
way of working, and I
It's a good
think
summary. Yeah. Yeah.
Sarah, I think you are the same like me. It's we have to if we want to become happy in our job, try to work directly with a client if it's possible. Know what you have to ask, know what you can offer. When you have to say no, have your network
Totally.
of colleagues.
Yeah.
Then you have really a nice working life, and
Yeah.
no company in between where people sitting who don't know our job and try
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, to buy us for a very low price and so on.
Yeah, and
So
always, guys, always. This is a good point. Well-being first. Ne? If you like what Michael just said about saying no, exactly,
yeah,
it's difficult, especially when you are starting off, but with
it's true.
experience it becomes easier, because sometimes we have to say no just for our well-being's sake,
Yeah,
to not get agitated in the
yeah,
long run. And so, but this is really interesting. So this is like a typical office day, it
yeah.
looks like, preparing, organizing,
So
getting
that's
inquiries.
why I tell it to everyone, because
Yeah,
people think, okay, you're an interpreter, or you do the language, and it seems like an actor you see in a film. They do it like if something
magically
happens
or
at the
no.
moment,
Yeah, yeah,
instantaneously. But there's a lot of preparation work for it,
yeah,
and you need this information to know or to tell the client that's the reason why my rate is so high. I'm not It's not only the work I do when I'm at your company. I have to prepare a lot of stuff. I have to organize a lot of stuff days before, weeks before, and afterwards. All the information I get, I have to put them into my glossaries to when the next meeting with a client is. So
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff.
And all the investment in our
Yeah,
education,
I
before
don't
that,
don't
long
even
before that.
mention that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
exactly. Yeah,
much
yeah,
before,
yeah,
but
totally.
that's to say
Yeah,
why for a company it's quite
yeah,
expensive. But we are discreet. We are no computers. We can think with a client,
yeah.
and that's our
With so many great points, I think, especially for maybe young interpreters or students here, take notes, go back when you watch the
yeah,
recording, watch this part again,
yeah. You
take
get a lot
notes.
of information
Michael
for
already gave
free,
you a lot of content, exactly, like how to
and I like to
organize
give the
them. Yeah.
information to everyone because why should you invent the wheel again, like they say in the Netherlands and Germany? So
Yeah, and
warum
only as a
das Rad wieder
community, if
neu
we support
erfinden?
each other, then it becomes easier for everybody.
Yeah,
And as I said, there is success for everybody and enough for
that's true.
everybody. And we
And
are a
we are
global
few.
community. So,
We are few.
yeah,
And there are
still,
a lot of
yeah.
people who say they can do it because, oh, I did English. I lived a year in the States, but 3 years later they forgot a lot of English and they don't have the skills you will build in during all your years of experience. So
Yes, but I can already like feel your passion for our
absolutely.
profession. And is there one thing you could nail it down to, like the one thing you love most about interpreting?
Yeah, maybe there's a few things, but what I would say is being indispensable for the client, uh, being a discrete link, which is which is very of inevitable as a smooth multilingual conversation. So you be a link, and you
Mhm.
make it possible that people can talk to each other without being disturbed. That's important. And what I like for me personally is uh, I have the privilege to look behind the curtain of companies, of the politics, how things run really in real time, and not
Yeah.
because uh, CEOs, CFOs, politicians, they they can't always tell the truth. They can't always tell the whole story. And it's not because they want to be not honest, but it's not possible. It's like you have to understand. It's like your dad and your mother who couldn't always tell you things when you were small because they wanted to protect you. You couldn't digest the information. You didn't have the background to understand it. That's that's how I experience this. Okay, we do have bad people in all these professions, but most of the
Yeah.
people, they want to to make things better.
Yeah. And we need to
Only when
focus
they
on that.
when
Yeah.
they have the name Putin, or
Yeah.
you all know these awful persons, and it's mostly men. I don't know why, but
Well, let's not go into that.
no, no, no.
Who knows where this will lead us? But yeah, this is a good point. So it's like what you said, like the majority, it's like positive and has good intentions, and
Yes.
this is what we always need to remind ourselves of. It's like with us individually in everyday life, we need, I think. Correct me if you know the difference. I think it's 5 positives to forget 1 negative. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
negative
that's true.
sticks with us much
Yes, yes,
longer
yes. One
than the
bad
positive
experience
things.
is
Yeah,
very bad to erase it.
totally.
The
Yeah.
good things people take for granted, but the
Yeah.
bad
So
things
also, yeah, in our
stays.
community, if you have ever any like,
Mm.
negative encounter with colleagues,
Yeah,
don't let this pull you down, this is one, but you forgot probably the 5 positive encounters that you had
yeah.
that day, right? And
Concentrate on the
focus on those.
positive
Yeah,
experiences.
consciously.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of here, positive, negative things, and so on, you have so many years of experience, Michael.
Yes.
Would you like to share with us maybe like an anecdote, or maybe like the worst mistake you have ever made?
Okay. I can tell you what happened to me. I have two nice anecdotes. Um, Let me see. No, this was another question.
Yeah.
The anecdotes, yes.
Yeah, we are quite far in
Yeah, I
time
know
already.
we take
It's
more. The best
yeah.
and funniest things. What I did once was I had to interpret in the Stopera in Amsterdam. This is a building, official building, which combines the functionality of the opera and the town hall. And the speaker stood behind his lecture in the middle of the stage, and I stood in the corner, also on the stage. Everyone could see me. And then I had to do my interpreting work, and the whole audience, 100 people, were only looking at me. And the poor guy, yeah, no one took attention to him. So what I did, I went on, and the only thing I did is, oh yeah, I have to do the other one. This is a speaker. And everyone was laughing, and afterwards everyone was relaxed. It was really
Uh,
nice, but it was really a good laugh, and I
wow.
only did
Yeah.
it by showing with my finger. And the other one is I had the privilege to interpret once in the Netherlands for politician, a high-ranking German politician, and he became later the federal president of Germany. And we were outside, he was visiting a city, and then he was talking to me. I had to interpret, and he was talking to me,
Oh
and I
yeah.
tried to
Oh,
be
yeah.
behind him and the mayor who accompanied him, but he always was talking to me. So I really had to say, sorry, sorry, Mr. President. the mayor is your
Yeah, this is really
interlocutor.
uncomfortable.
Yes,
And also when they ask you
yes,
like, then, so can you tell him then this and this?
yeah.
Like, no, you're
But
talking
you
to
know,
him.
people
Like,
smile, they
yeah,
understand it, but
yes,
it's
yeah,
typical, it's human
yeah,
to say when you hear a voice,
yeah,
you will look to this person, you will communicate with the person. But we are always in the background, but it happens to us, and I found this a very funny
yeah.
situation.
Well, I
So
love your approach because again, it's like um, focus on the positive intention.
yeah,
Like the person this
I'm a
didn't
very
know any
optimistic
better.
person.
Like
Yes, yeah, yes,
yeah,
true.
and especially in consecutive when we are in the middle of the happening, it's
Mm,
difficult. And for people that are not experienced with our profession, like what our role is, they then yeah, what you said, like intuitively they turn to the person who's actually speaking, but this is us, the interpreter. So yeah, in a nice way, they don't do it on purpose
yeah,
or to be mean
but
to the other person.
I must confess, I was a quite shy boy when I was young.
You
I
were,
was a
you
dream.
weren't.
I was a dreamer. So you learn it by doing, learning by doing. And what helps, I did a lot of theater,
Hmm.
drama, stage things. So it helps. And I also studied at the drama school in the official drama school in Maastricht in the Netherlands for about 3 years. So it is very good for the
Nice.
voice. It's very good to have
Oh
this
yeah.
camera on you when you're working. What do I wrong? What works and so on. So
Oh, that's really helpful. Yeah, I can
playing
imagine.
maybe in a theater group is good, or dancing is also you're very
Yeah.
aware of yourself. Singing is good if you are singing in a group or in a choir. You do a lot for your voice, very
Oh yeah,
important.
voice. That's good. Actually,
So
I would love to have maybe this is something missing in our training because I was sometimes wonder
yeah,
like what do actually like actual voice workers like actual speakers like they have
that's
a
true.
professional training as well for being a speaker. So I wonder like yeah,
Yeah,
what does that look like?
pronunciation. How
Like,
do I
yeah.
what do I do when my voice is strained because I had to talk a lot? It was the surrounding were cold and so on. What do I have to do when I get a cold? But I have to
Yeah.
work. I can't
Mm.
stop. So there are a few medical possibilities. You
Mm.
can take a pill, but it's only for this emergency
Yeah,
situation.
temporary.
And
Yeah. Mm.
the next day you have to lie down in bed
Yeah.
and
And mm.
to get better again.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Well, cool. Super, super interesting, Michael. Well, we are approaching the end
The
of our
end.
interview soon, but maybe two more questions.
Yes.
What would you say are your core values you live by with
Ah,
future
yes, yes,
working as an
yes.
interpreter?
Let me see what I wrote down. I know them by heart, but I want to pronounce them better in English.
Yeah.
Oh yes, here it is. My core values are discretion, very important for an interpreter. Uh, very good in deep preparation, curiosity, lifelong learning. It's a job. It's changing. You learn and learn and learn. Being realistic about your own skills. So you don't do stuff where you become unhappy and your client
Mm,
is unhappy. It will stay with you. Do the
mm,
stuff
yes.
you can. You will grow. That's no problem. Mindedness, collegiality, very important
Mm,
because you have to work with your
yes.
colleagues.
Mm,
Always give positive critics, not negative critics. We all make mistakes. Then you have
totally.
to know your market value. What is my service word? What can I do what others don't do? Uh, why you have to defend to argue why you take this high rate, um, and you have to know the arguments to underpin it. We can have a conversation about it another time.
Yeah, this is a
Um,
whole
yeah,
worth of session on its own
yeah,
because it's a
and
lot
you
of
have
yeah,
and you have to have the guts to sell a no. Sorry, I'm not
totally.
the right person
Yes.
for this.
Yeah.
But then you always have to say, I know a colleague who could maybe help you, and then uh, uh, um, stop to go in between. give this, if it's not a client you have always, that's different. But when it's a one-time client, then better say, okay, I can't help you, but this is a colleague who could help you, and then you arrange everything with this client, because this information will stay with the client, will stay with your colleague. It goes around the
Yeah.
mouth to mouth, how
Word
do you
of
say?
mouth. Yeah. Word
Yeah,
of mouth. Yeah.
yeah, word of mouth, and it will come back. You get a
Yeah.
very good
What goes
impression.
around comes around. Yes. So again, students watching, take notes.
Yes, yes,
That was
yes,
good.
yes.
Good information here. Very helpful. Thank you, Michael. Awesome.
No problem.
And yeah, and with regards like the time we live in, what would you say in your view will be the biggest challenges for interpreters in
Ah,
the
yes, what
future?
were the biggest challenges? I have three things. One is technological developments. We live really in revolutionary times. You can compare it with the introduction of the personal computer and what happens afterwards. This happens at the moment in our profession. You have to prepare to be capable to do the offline interpreting when you're at a certain location, working in the real booth, uh, or you have to know how you have to work in as offline interpreter. I will show you my little studio, but there are a lot of platforms where you can also work with, and yeah, that's very important. Then you have to know all the devices and software to support your work. There's also a lot of development going on at the moment. Um, and the other one is the organizational development. You will work with colleagues worldwide, and that means different rates, different working conditions. So we have all to work together to defend our working conditions and our rates.
Yeah.
That's where, let's say, AIC, this Association Internationale des Interprètes de Conférence, so the conference interpreters worldwide, work together. So it's a good organization who does a lot of good work for us. And the last one is a political development. It's defending the rights and lives of colleagues worldwide against authoritarianism,
Mhm.
religious and moral fundamentalism.
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
knows now interpreters, they risk their life in Afghanistan. It will happen in Russia. It will happen in Africa, and so on. We have to be solidary with our colleagues.
Yeah. Wow, wonderful. I'm getting goosebumps. Yes.
Ooh!
Great. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Honorable
Not
goals.
only
Yeah.
emotion, we have to act.
Yeah, totally. Yes, yes. And this is a great transition because what would you say maybe to newcomers? What advice would you give newcomers to the industry, or also like relating to the challenges, like how to overcome them? I mean, to not be too
Mm,
afraid to become an
yeah,
interpreter, basically.
yeah. The one thing I really can advise you, become part of the community. We are all working together at the moment. It's really a wonderful community. We share our information, the solidarity, and it's really like the beginning of the internet, when everything like the internet had good intentions and so on. Everyone helps each other. So become a member of the worldwide community of interpreters. You can do it in this group. It's a
The interpreters
start.
practice group on
Absolutely a
Facebook.
good
Yeah.
one. It's a small group, but we have a good exchange with people in Africa, in Asia, in
Arabic
America, and
speaking
so on.
countries.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely,
Hmm.
and Europe especially. It's still a small group. There are other groups. Um, it's in Germany. You have the German VKD. That's the Association for the German Conference Interpreters. They have a lot of information. Um, then in the Netherlands we have the NGTV, that's the Dutch Association for Translators and Interpreters, and I'm one of the coordinators for the section of the interpreters, and all interpreters, medical, court, conference
Hmm.
interpreter, everyone is welcome. And then I want to start two groups in the Netherlands, exercise groups, one for simultaneous interpreting and one for consecutive interpreting. You have other groups quite big groups for America, Latin America, and the States and Canada. It's called Amerivox. That's like America and then Vox like voice, Amerivox.
Mhm.
Um, but it's another continent, another time zone. But they are very, very active. You have also in France and Belgium very good big exercise groups, and you can find this information when you go to the website of the AIC, the Association des Interprètes Internationale des Interprètes de Conférence. It's called AIIC. AIIC. Very important little word and
Yes.
acronym, and go to the website. You get a lot of information, more than I can ever tell you. What you also can do, what I was saying, we live in a revolutionary time, so you have to adapt quickly, but be patient. Don't think, oh, it's too much, it's too much. I'm learning the last 2 years how to do the online interpreting with a lot of information, but I realized, okay, I concentrate on one point, then I take another one, I stop, and so bit by bit I learn, but you have to learn continuously. And the
Yeah.
nice thing, it's fun, it's rewarding,
Yes,
and only
that's it.
concentrate of the things you are good in
Mm.
and what you can improve. Don't criticize yourself. Don't be your own enemy. You will grow like a child who starts to walk, like a child who starts to speak, like a child who starts to ride on a bike. Before that, it wasn't possible. Remember what you did when you got your driver's license. Oh, oh, oh. I had to do a
Yes.
lot of stuff. And now
Yeah,
you're riding, if you have a driver's license and you have a car, you are driving like nothing.
exactly.
You are
No,
using
it's
your
normal to
bike.
use hands,
Everything
feet for
will,
different
yeah.
purposes. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
always say it's like the game Tetris. A lot of blocks falling down, and they come at the right place. They stop,
Oh, great
and
metaphor.
you
So
grow, you grow,
motivational.
you grow.
Yeah, I love this kind of
Yeah,
reference to personal development. Everybody
absolutely. I
knows I'm
know.
a
So,
huge fan because this is underlying everything.
yeah,
When you have low self-esteem or you are shy or you don't know your
that's true.
worth, then you don't know your
I will
worth in the
try.
market
I will
either.
try.
So yeah, and then this is all connected.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome advice, Michael. Super. So to finish off, show us your office.
Yes. Okay. I will
And
change the
tell us
camera
also how people
because
can connect with you or
yeah.
your exercise groups or what you wish if anybody wants to get
So
in touch with you. What is the best way?
I'll put this away. Oh no, I changed the camera. It was not necessary. So okay, what you see is me now. It's one of my clients, DSM, or used to be a client, not anymore, uh, because clients change the interpret sometimes, and you don't know why. So
And you just cycled for them.
yes, too. Okay. So let me see if I can get it back. Yes, now you see it. What you see here is my lamp. What I use when it's outside, it's dark, and then this is my uh, my my office chair, and this is the
Yes.
background, and it's this where you use the slide from the holiday. That's what I use. It's very quickly uh, built up. It's white, so no problem. Then what I have
Great
here,
background solution.
yes. So now you see Sarah. Oh, you get a lot of pictures. Uh, these are the books, something to drink. Take a small glass, but it can't fall down. That's a good solution.
Yeah, and bulky also at the bottom,
Yes,
né? So it
bulky. That's
doesn't
very important. Yes.
fall over. Yeah.
What you here see is a small device from Green Terp. That's also a very important association of interpreters, and you can switch your microphone left, right, the speaker here. Can you hear or put the volume down?
It's called
Um,
green terp, right?
Green
Green
Terp.
terp.
Yes,
Mhm.
like green and Terp is for interpreter. For
Mhm.
people who doesn't know. This is my microphone I can use, but I work normally with my headphone. I
Mhm.
have two headphones because when I organize the group, I have to be the host and the interpreter, so I need two headsets. Um, this is my favorite information for English, New Scientist. I'm really someone who's interested in science. Then you see here my laptop, and it's on two dictionaries. so I have a good height. This is for the other computer you see here.
The keyboard, yes.
The keyboard, yes, sorry, the keyboard, yes. Sometimes I don't.
I like that you have like cork trays or under the glass.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
true.
there, I
So it
saw another
can't
one.
move
Yeah.
very quickly.
And it's not, if you bang something, it's not
Yeah,
loud.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
that's really good.
Then you have here, very important, when it's darker, you have this ring lamp. It's really
Oh,
an
yes,
investment
yeah.
you have to do for your studio.
Mhm.
And you can put even yeah, I put the my camera here also on it.
I
There's a
see.
second headset and a lamp behind it. I have two lamps left and right. My professional telephone, and I prefer this telephone because I can do a lot of stuff with it you can't do with a handy, and
Mobile phone, yeah.
with a mobile phone, yes, mobile phone in English. And the nice thing is, when I come home, I see that someone called. A mobile phone is always, you always have to open the app. I don't like this.
Okay, yes, makes
And this
sense.
is the famous.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is if you see, you really love it.
Yes, this is the famous, remarkable. What I can do is, I will show you a little bit that you get the impression, because otherwise you don't know what it is.
Yes.
I can use it as a no, as a notebook. Let's say we have our exercise group. I will show the group of Lavinia and Antonio. It's part of this group here. And what we do, and I open it, and we have English words like I give a speech, and we try to find a symbol. This is a small person, and this is speaking, or like the quote, person quotes, okay, direct speech. Embarrassing, a face with this line, and so on. That's what we do.
Yeah, every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., guys, you can
Very important.
join for free. Just join the Interpreters Practice Group on Facebook.
Yes. And the other thing is I can put, let's say I have a comics. I want to read a comic. And what do I have? Yes, you have a Japanese comics to show you how fine the picture is. And I can even make it larger if I like to.
Yes.
That's the thing to do. Or what I also have is my weekly newspaper, Die Zeit. And I have it as a normal paper you would see with everything like you have the printed version, but it's too small. And therefore they have the digital version. That's my e-Zeit. And when I open it, I get all the readings, but I can read them, and I can even mark them and send this back to my laptop, my computer, and with all the marks, and they are in color. This is only black and white and gray, but then I can prepare my documentation while working or preparing for an assignment as interpreter.
Yeah,
very,
that's
very
really
useful.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
And it, as I said, it doesn't need a lot of energy. Then I have here my printer, and what's very important, that's because I'm older, you see, if you look good, you see something, it's called a bookshelf with a lot of books about interpreting and so on.
In case very young people don't know anymore what
I'm
paper
back
books
again
are.
in the picture. That's a little bit
Great, yeah.
And I bought everything step by step. So don't say I need everything at once.
Again, be patient.
Be patient.
Don't rush well-being over anything, basically.
And you get this on air when you, at least with this ring lamp I bought, it was for free in it, so you can use it. You can put batteries in it, and then it's even more expressed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everybody loves to have a look behind the scenes now. So thank you very much for sharing with us your private office space, kind of. So nice and really greatly appreciated. Also by our live watchers, and I'm sure many others as well who will watch later. And Agnes, for example, also says thanks for an interesting insight in your work, Michael.
Yeah.
and and the others as well, and me too. And yeah, this is actually a great transition because Agnes will be our speaker next Saturday for our monthly meeting where we all meet together in the Zoom room.
Okay.
So here, Michael, we had our interview. Michael was my interview partner, and we also once a month I have an interview partner, and once a month we meet live in the Zoom session. Michael, I look forward to meeting you there as well. Michael
Absolutely.
is
I
a
like to
loyal
come. Yes.
member, always there.
Yes.
And and Agnes Tauscher will tell us about speech to text interpreting and give us a demo. Already
Good.
also a while ago, I gave a presentation about what speech to text interpreting is, and she is already experienced in it, part of the Austrian professional body for speech to text interpreters, and will give us a demo. So looking forward to it next Saturday, 4 p.m. CET, Central European Time.
And speech to text is very important or interesting for consecutive interpreting, because I also saw a few demonstrations from colleagues, and it helps a lot.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Michael. It was so great having you guys. This interview is available as of now in the Facebook group to watch the replay if you like. And I will put it on YouTube as well, because now we put specific videos, especially the interviews, on YouTube for you guys also to use and share publicly, because the Facebook group is private. You cannot share it outside the group. So YouTube is also for you guys, for your marketing purposes, digital marketing and so on. Very important for client acquisition. Use it. And I'm sure Michael will. So yeah, that's it. And don't forget Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. with Antonio and Lavinia practice session.
And don't forget to drink a lot of water, because it's really good for your voice. That's not a
great final words. Awesome. Okay, guys. So
bye
this was it. Bye bye. See you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.